it clearly stuffed up and decided to blur my face out. So yeah, hopefully you guys are online and you've tuned into Outdoorstype here at Junee. I'm staying at the Junee Hotel. I've just gotten everything set up in the back of the car at the moment, and we'll go for a bit of a walk in a minute. I'll just get everything set up and let everybody find the stream, and then we'll go for a bit of a walk over to Junee Station and have a bit of a look there, providing the train isn't going through. G'day, Dan. G'day, Luggy111. Welcome aboard. G'day, Andy Munro. Thanks for coming on board. G'day, Lyle. G'day, Trevor. G'day, Mark. You guys are in the back of my car in the boot at the moment, sitting on my fridge, just waiting for, just making sure I can get this stream set up properly. Great to catch up with you the other day, Dan. We spent a couple of days chasing the old Mawillimbar 2 casino line, and we caught up also a couple of days earlier at Tenterfield. So that was fun and very productive. So there's a lot of stuff happening. G'day, Luke's Fishing. G'day, Smart as Marbles. And g'day, David. Welcome aboard. So in just a second, we're going to go for a walk over to Junee Station and have a bit of a look there. Oh, g'day, John. The railways in New South Wales are obviously far more advanced than South Australia, but you know me, I'm where the trains used to run, generally not where they run. Although at the moment I am where they run, and this is very interesting here at Junee. Seems to be trains just going through all the time, and there's a freight train over there at the moment, so let's go for a walk and go check it out. I'll take you all out the back of the car and let's go for a bit of a walk. G'day, Mike, how you going? And welcome aboard to all the lurkers as well. So this is the last of my on-location live streams. We'll be back in the boring old studio next week. So, yeah, let's make the most of it while we can. All right. One thing at a time. We'll just lock the car up. And yeah, that's the Junee Hotel behind me there. 145-year hotel. Dan, you'd love this place. It's full of history. It's threadbare. It's the high ceilings, the arches, the old carpet. Everything's old wood and whatnot. So, and this is my first and only pub room for the night on the trip. I've spent every night since the last live stream in a different bed. And starting to wear a little bit thin, to be honest with you. But yeah, 2 more days to go of this mad road trip. And tomorrow, yes, I will be hitting up the Junee Roundhouse Museum as I start the video on the Junee to Hayline. So hopefully this doesn't mirror things. I worked out how to not mirror things in selfies, but let's see what happens when we do YouTube. Let's turn the camera around. Yes, I chose this pub specifically because it was across the road from a railway. That, and it was also $70. which is pretty good these days, hey? Excuse the dizzy spin. Welcome aboard, JK. Hello, Riley and the King of the Sandfall. Welcome to everybody from Adelaide. I'll be back in Adelaide on Friday night. Okay. Try not to get hit by a truck. Hey, Wilbur. Wilbur with the double R. Welcome aboard and welcome to Junee. I don't know how this is going to go because it's dark. And I got here just before dark. But obviously I had to get some tea in me and settle in. So we'll see how we go with this nighttime live stream. So far, so good. We are in Junee, Riley. Southern New South Wales. I started this morning in Coffs Harbour and I have completed the great transfer, the great Nike transfer from northern to southern New South Wales. So all of that, yeah. My data balance is running low, which is unsurprising. So this is part of the fun of live streams, right? Okay. No, that was just me recharging my data so it didn't run out halfway through the stream. So, yeah, here we go. Oh, g'day, Ree. Welcome aboard. G'day, Nico. I better cross this level crossing before another freaking train comes through. That's going to be fun overnight. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the gimbal. So I'll just sort my shit out with this gimbal. Oh dear, never a dull moment in outdoors type land, is there? Because when I plug the microphone into the base of the gimbal, it tends to jam the movement of the gimbal, unfortunately. Which is never great, is it? I'm trying not to make it one of those wobbly streams, so the gimbal will do what it'll do. Yes, tonight a random stranger is crossing a random level crossing. Right. I'm just going to take my mic out for a sec so I can properly adjust this gimbal. This stupid microphone has a giant adapter on the bottom of it. Oh. Oh, look, I'm pretty well versed in photography, David. It's just that YouTube doesn't pay me enough to have more than one DSLR camera. I have a Nikon as a DSLR camera, but I never travel with it because all it does is take pictures and shaky videos. What I got to do is put this gimbal down and sort out the microphone. Live streaming is always fraught with imperfections, which is part of the fun. I could probably shoot the live stream with a potato and it would still have issues. So I'm just going to put this down. And take the microphone out. The sound of my voice a bit shit. Recenter the gimbal again. Pull the gimbal out a little bit so the bottom of the phone is sticking out. Problem with wireless microphones, right, is that they all come with this giant adapter. What I would like to do is get a DJI mic. The latest DJI mic actually has direct to Bluetooth connection. It doesn't need an adapter, and that's what I really need to do. But you know, that's why I started up the membership thing, was in order to get that incentive payment for Google, which will help me upgrade some of my equipment. So the DJI mic will probably be part of that equipment, and probably a couple of lights for the studio at home as well. Yeah, so I've had to take the mic off and then tilt the gimbal back a little bit so that the bottom of the phone's got a bit more free play and it doesn't keep cancelling itself out all the time because the microphone's in the way. G'day, Dan and Amber. Welcome aboard. You know what, Luggy 111? Most railway stations these days are like 28 days later. And I'll come back down here tomorrow to do some filming bright and early in the morning. The Junee Roundhouse Museum apparently opens at 10 in the morning. So I'll be finished most of my filming, hopefully, by the time that opens. I can get in there and have a look and do a bit of filming and try and capture as much as I can of that museum before I piss off over to Hay, which should take me, technically takes about 3 hours, but with filming it'll probably take me about 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, there's a freight train sitting over there on the other side of the old island platform. G'day, Noel. It was great to catch up yesterday, mate. Thank you for catching up and sharing some of your experiences and some of your wisdom with me. We caught up with Noel yesterday for a coffee, and we went for a walk out on the jetty and talked about things and stuff. And now I'm down all the way down here. It's great to catch up with like-minded people who are interested in the kind of stuff that I'm doing. Yeah, Byron Bay, man. That was, I don't know, the more I go to Byron Bay, the more I'm convinced it's a freaking hole, man. Seriously, don't go to Byron Bay. Go to Mullumbimby instead, which is indoors. So I have left the Queensland building. I was up there only very briefly. I finished up filming and wrapped up the Armidale to Wallingarra video with Dan on, oh God, I forget, a couple of days ago. And then I went up to Yarraman to catch up with my auntie, who is still on the farm. G'day, Graham O'Neill. Welcome aboard. Caught up with her and then covered the line from Yarraman down to just outside of Ipswich. Yeah, right. Okay, well, this is a Pacific National depot here. So I'm wondering if that's why some of these trains were stopping here, was probably for crew changeovers or something. Yeah, Nico, I stayed in Mullumbimby, which is like the inland version of Byron Bay. And that was actually much nicer. The motel room was a bit shit, to be honest with you. But that was an interesting lesson from this trip, was that the two most expensive accommodations that I had, which was at Blackbutt on the way up just east of Yarraman, and then Mullumbimby. G'day, Steve. Welcome aboard. They were both the most expensive accommodations that I've had of the trip, and they actually turned out to not be the nicest ones at all. I would rate Tenterfield as the best and actually one of the cheapest accommodations that I had. It was a nice surprise to have such a huge room for so little money. John, that would have been so cool. You can see here, oh, you know me, I generally don't like describing what's in the image. Let's talk about what's in the image. The overway, can't imagine that the overway is used anymore. Well, it does have no entry signs on it, and you can see the far line that's serving that island platform is now a goods train standing there, and the line on this side of the platform is obviously very overgrown. You know what's interesting about this Sydney to Melbourne line, because I've seen a fair bit of it as I went down the Hume Highway and came out to here, it's dual track the whole way. There's very few lines that I can think of that are like that are dual track for their entire length, which must make things a bit easier. But I'd imagine this is a fairly busy line. There is a bridge up the other end there, funnily enough, JK, called Kemp Street, but it's closed at the moment. I think, from what I can tell, the Inland Rail project is in the process of raising the heights of all the railway bridges through New South Wales and Victoria along the proposed Inland Rail route, or you know, creating underpasses or whatever so they can run double stacked trains through all of these. Yeah, exactly, Nico. A lot of them are very dated, but it just gets to the point when you're on your travels too that really all you want is a clean bed and a shower. Bacon and liver with gravy and toast for breakfast. Oh my God, yes. Pretty sure they'd. Oh look, the ART, or not the ARTC, but the Inland Rail website has been a excellent source of information, particularly when I was looking at doing the Boggabilla line. Unfortunately, I didn't get to do that video. That's life. But it was interesting to note that the Inland Railway was not going to go through Boggabilla. It was going to take a different path from just south of Boggabilla before it then headed to across the border, across the, oh, what's the river there? The Mehi River. So yeah. Okay, so maybe someone can. Oh, that's the refreshment rooms. I was just about to say, oh, which one's the refreshment rooms? But I'd say it'd probably be the building with the refreshments sign out the front of it, eh? And then you have the station building there that we just walked through. Well, that's interesting. I've just seen some lights creep up there, coming off what I thought was the line that I'm going to be following tomorrow out to Junee. Follow the signs, Noel. Follow the signs. So, what's just north of Junee? There's a railway line which branches off to the northwest by the look of things, and as far as I can tell, that would be the line to Old Junee. So there must be perhaps even a freight depot or something like that out there, because there is a train sitting there just off the main line. You can see those tiny little dots of light down there at the end of the platform. Yeah, there is something sitting there. And this Cube freight train came in and stopped as I was checking in. And I'm like, damn, good timing. I am the world's worst train spotter. There's always something going on whenever a train actually goes past. And all the trains that have come through here, there's been 4 so far that have come through Junee. They've all slowed down quite a bit for the level crossing and then built up speed again. So that's the booking office we just come through. Coolman from, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right, Lyle. Thank you. Yeah, my of course I know that because it's in my research documents, but yeah, dude, I've just driven like 13 hours today, so like the other time I'm a bit scattered. So yeah, I've done 970 odd kilometers today. Oh, g'day Heather, welcome aboard. Oh, you've missed a lot of amateur buffoonery. Don't worry, Heather, that's fine. You can go back and replay it if you like. But thank you for coming on board. What was I going to say? That's right. Yeah, done about 970 odd kilometers. And that's actually more kilometers than I've got to do over the next 2 days to get home. So thankfully, that brutal drive is out of the way. And I have to say as well, it was quite a boring drive from Coffs Harbour around Western Sydney down to Junee here, because it's all motorway. It wasn't really until, I don't know, let's say just past Canberra, the turn off to Canberra, I should say, where the road got quiet again and the view opened up and I could just sit at 115 on the highway in my happy place finally, without having to deal with all the freaking traffic. Yeah, so you've got that line out to Narrandera and Leeton and all that kind of stuff. And Griffith, I think. And then after a certain point there, it becomes abandoned, and I'll follow that all the way out to Hay. Yeah, there's plenty of, I talked about in one of my videos, talked about how commerce crowded around the railway stations because they were the centre of town when in the heydays of rail, and you can see that reflected here too. Not only do you have the Junee Hotel and whatnot there, just the other side of the rail yard, but you've got this set of shops here, and you have another hotel, and then you have that old building there, which is likely to have been another hotel. I mean, you can't have enough hotels, really, can you? Yes, Hay is very boring. I hope it's boring because I'll be staying there tomorrow night. Interesting factoid that I can remember now without my script was that The Hay station was so well appointed because it was originally intended that the Hay line would become another connection to South Australia. Oh, I'm just going to hold this. Bloody hell. That's hilarious, Heather. Well, it's not hilarious. It's a little bit sad, but looking back on things, it's actually a little bit hilarious too. Junee has an old dock platform here. So, yeah, if you're wondering why the Hay railway station is so big and so well appointed for something that it was the end of an outback line that was always marginal at best, it was meant to be a through station. And that would have been an interesting railway that would have come down to Morgan. It would have avoided crossing the River Murray or the Murray River, depending which way you want to put it, and come around the top there and joined at Morgan. I've been to Hay before and did the railway station there. Sadly, it's not easy to catch that museum when it's open. Obviously, like a lot of volunteer-run museums, they have somewhat esoteric opening hours that you might have to do a bit of water divining to figure out when it's actually open. But I'm looking forward to exploring this this location more in the morning. So if you've got any questions, I'll try and remember the answers to them. Heading out to Hay tomorrow through Narrandera or Narrandera. I don't know which one it is. I've had fun using multiple pronunciations. Well, that's really cool. John, do you happen to have any video of your trip on that rail motor out to Hay? That would be awesome. So it's Narrandera. Thanks, Noel. Appreciate that. I might just call it Narrandera anyway, just to stuff people up. Well, you know, hopefully I catch them while they're open tomorrow. That would be nice. But usually at the rate I go, I probably won't be hitting Hay until about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And that will be the last night of this crazy trip. I will, Noel, the silver bullet. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that'd be good, JK. Cool, man. I've had a good time catching up with Dan and with Noel, and that would be excellent if we could catch up out there as well. I don't know, Heather. I'll scope it out. It's a very long abandoned station, and if I'm not getting good vibes, then if I'm getting good vibes, then I might go live from Hay just to kindle some memories of the most boring town in Australia. Brassy. Where's Brassy? I don't think it's on the line that I'm doing. I'll have to, when I get back to the room, such as it is, in the upstairs of the Junee Hotel, yeah, I'll review my scripts and my research before I go out, so I've got a little bit of an idea and a reminder. I've had 9 scripts to review and remind myself of just what the hell I wrote and what the hell I researched. That's been part of the fun. I've got heaps of video in the bag, so really looking forward to showing some previews next week in the live stream. All right. Thanks, Lyle. Okay. Well, thanks for the tip, Nico, about the bakery. I don't think I've ever stopped at the Hay Bakery. In fact, the only reason I've stopped at Hay is they have some of the most excellent toilets when you're on a road trip. That's probably the most notable thing so far about Hay. If you look back through my library, I think nearly 2 years ago now, I did a walkthrough and a drone video just focused on the old Hay Station building. That is a massive roundabout there, O'Malley, and I'm more concerned about getting wiped out by a B-double. I did have a cold one at the pub tonight, David. Now it's 9 o'clock here in country New South Wales, and it's very quiet. So I got my passcode to get back in, and have a shower and go to bed, I reckon. Heather, you would love the Junee Hotel. It's a beautiful old building, really threadbare old carpets, wooden floorboards, huge arches, old style lighting, super high ceilings, and everything in it kind of feels like it's part of the original building as well. It's just brilliant. Anyone who's a history buff would enjoy a stay there, and I know, obviously, a few of you guys have mentioned it as well. Oh, here we go. Here's my favourite noise in the whole entire world, and it's cheap too. $70 a night. I mean, the room has a bed and a telly in it, and that's about it. You know, with the toilet and bathroom down the hallway, that kind of stuff. Now, I'm gonna stand back here, right? Oh, so that must be the Loftus Hotel there, eh? No, there's no Bible. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna unplug the mic, folks, so that we get ambient sound. Thanks for remembering that, Dan, because the mic picks up my voice really well, but the mic absolutely wrecks ambient sound. So I'm just going to go with ambient sound, folks. Sorry. The XPTs still come through, but at this stage I don't think there's an XPT until the overnight Melbourne XPT. The overnight Melbourne XPT is probably not going to come through until, like, you know, midnight or 1 o'clock or bloody 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Yeah, so this would have to be some kind of freight thing coming over from Narrandera. Oh, that's a bit surprising. Yeah, I know, right? That was a bit disappointing, wasn't it, Dan? Hopefully the ambient sound's coming through better this time. Southern Short Haul Railroad. It's a weedy. An empty one, by the sounds of it. Ooh, that one's got blue lights on it. I wish I could have done this stream in landscape, but the way that YouTube works on Android, you just never know what's going to happen when you start up your stream, so I just leave it in portrait. It's more reliable that way. It's a bit of a graph gallery for those of you who are into graffiti. Yeah, I noticed that the other day too, Heather. It prompted me to share highlights onto a short, which actually was really good for channel discovery. Right, well, there goes that train. There you go. That's officially one of the few live streams I've ever done with an actual train in it. Right, let's kill that bright light. What the hell? So there's 28 people out there at the moment on the stream. I'm not sure if all 28 of you have piped up and said g'day. Pop up and say g'day. Feel free to ask a question or present a fact about the railway lines down here in southern New South Wales. So this one's operational, Heather. There will be the overnight XPTs from Melbourne to Sydney and Sydney to Melbourne that'll come through later. And I think there's some day XPT passenger services as well. But it is a beautiful old station, as Dan has pointed out to me. Thanks, JK, for the clarification. As Dan was pointing out to me the differences between the verandas on Queensland design buildings and New South Wales design buildings, and this one is a classic a New South Wales designed railway station. Yes, I will. Yes. Thanks, Nico, for reminding me. This live stream gig, right, it's actually pretty tough. There's a lot to remember, and there's a lot that can go wrong. There we go. So hopefully the mic's back in now and working out. I love things like this old clock here. And as you might have seen by my Facebook post as well, excuse me, the graphic design part of me is absolutely obsessed with the typography, particularly typography from the old days. You know, like this refreshment sign, which is kind of emblematic of like a 50s, 60s kind of feel. And I've often tried to find whether or not they've actually used a known typeface so I can recreate it in my titles and in my graphics and whatnot. Nico, yeah. It's you're out there being public property when you're doing a live stream, that's for sure. But a lot of this stuff was kind of custom made for the purpose it was made. You know, you can't sort of say this is Arial or this is any kind of particular thing. But if you look at that there, you look at the shape of the M, for example. That's a really unique M design. It's a bit random. Yeah, cool. It's quite warm up here at the moment in Junee, but geez, there would have been some cold nights and some cold mornings. Let's get out of the reflection. So I'm guessing there was a big door there into the refreshment rooms where, yes, you could get your bacon and liver and gravy. God, that sounds nice. Yeah, well, it's really warm here at the moment, which is interesting. I haven't been able to get away from the heat. Apparently Adelaide's only copped a couple of warm days, but the whole time I've been away, it's been kind of hot and warm. And I did my usual packing thing where I packed 2 sets of thermals because I was leaving Adelaide, right, and it was cold. I packed 2 sets of thermals. I packed a puffer jacket and a rain jacket, and I haven't needed to touch any of them. But that's, standard travel practice for Mikey G. Pack entirely inappropriately for the weather, and then just deal with it. I'd love to go exploring the Bethungra Spiral one day, but it reached a point where I reached the end of the budget and I reached the end of the time budget as well. Essentially had a 2-week window during school holidays and a certain amount of cash, and so I decided, sort of a bit like pin the tail on the donkey, which lines am I going to do? The Narrandera to Token Wall, or am I going to do Bethungra or Kugel Spiral or whatever, because I was up that way, of course. And I just kind of decided to do the ones that I did. I've got to save some for the next trip, right? So once I get back home, I've got 9 videos to make, so that's going to keep me and the channel occupied for quite a while. And then I'm going to get back into Adelaide stories again. People have been asking me to do more of the old railway lines around the wharfs at Port Adelaide. People have been asking me to do more on the old Gilman yards down there in Adelaide as well. So there's going to be a spate of out of Adelaide videos, followed by another bunch of Adelaide videos again. Condensed sans serif style that's typical of Australian railway signage from the, well, I was close with the time, with the years. Gill sans bold. Okay, I'm going to have to look that up, Dan. You know what I'm talking about, man. I am an absolute typeface nerd. I've asked as many people as I can to try and tell me what the typeface for the South Australian Railways was, but the best answer I could get on that was that it was, oh, what the hell are you doing now, Gimbal? We'll turn you around again. And the best answer I could get on that was a lot of it was custom made. If you go to the Guardsman at Adelaide Railway Station and get a meal there, inside the Guardsman, there is a lot of intricate and interesting recreations of perhaps what was, sorry about the light there, but not much I can do, that's a live stream for you. Recreations, and I do have the story on In Daily of how they recreated it, but effectively what they said was they could only do so much in terms of recreating it because it was never really a typeface as such. Same thing with all the old badges and stuff like that. I was interested to note when I was up at Tenterfield how similar the hat badges and lapel badges were to the South Australian Railways, between SA Railways and New South Wales Government Railways. And again, they were in-house designs that never really got shared or put into or codified as a typeface that we could use digitally these days. I saw that, Brian, missed it by that much, hey, because there were some old railway lines on the town side of that building. I wonder if they're still there now. It's interesting, all those years, you know, the old market shed was just a daggy old place that was less and less relevant to me in my life, and obviously to a lot of other people as well. I mean, essentially, you couldn't get anything in there that you couldn't get on eBay, which is a bit sad. Yeah, it's super neat. When there's a train in town, there would be buses here in this space to pick up people and take them, I guess, to the other towns. But these are still working railway stations. When I was in Gunnedah, actually, no, Armidale, I said hello to the station attendant there, and he actually gave me a bit of a tour around the station, and we had a bit of a chat, and it actually looks really, really similar to this place. But yeah, during the day they would have ticket offices here, and yeah, that's interesting, Brian. There's a lot of reference material that I'm beginning to build on the Port Adelaide wharf lines, but yeah, I'll get into that once I've got the videos that we're doing here out of the way. So that should keep me going for a fair while, folks. Yeah, I've settled on a Cooper font, a font called Cooper at the moment, which is a serif font, and has a bit of an old school vibe to it. I was using Neuron, mainly because it had the same name as a station, an ex-station in South Australia, but it wasn't, I didn't have the full typeface collection, and it wasn't it, so I'm gonna have to do a bit more scouring. I did a bit of work on typeface creation in my degree course, but when you start to delve into the ins and outs of typeface creation, you quickly work out that it's one hell of a job to create all 26 letters of the alphabet, and all of the symbols and all of the numbers into a brand new typeface. And I sat there with some typeface creators as they were working through creating their own typefaces. It is very detailed and very painstaking work. So that's an old island platform on the other side of the track. I think you're talking about a typeface there, Brian. That's interesting. I'll have to look up Sabon. Please feel free to send me an email or something to remind me that I was talking about this. And if you've got any leads on possible typefaces that could be more interesting for my videos, then please email me. It's very easy for me to forget what goes on in the live streams. Yeah, Junee seems like a nice quiet town, you know. Contrast that with Moree, for example, which has a beautiful old station building, but I couldn't get close to it because both times I went there, I was there at about 9 o'clock, or 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, which is when the XPT to Sydney leaves, and the station was super busy. And it was not the kind of crowd that I really wanted to get close to and film inadvertently or film in the background up there at Moree. Moree certainly has its reputation. I didn't have any issues at Moree, but you can tell that Moree does have issues when you spend a little bit of time there. All right, well, we'll wander back over to the railway crossing now. Apparently, there is a very good chocolate and licorice factory. I can't stand licorice. I hate it. But chocolate, yeah. So we're just going to wander back along the street here. I'm really surprised, actually, that the lighting's held up so well on the mobile here. It is doing a pretty decent job of lighting the night up here. I'll have to come back and get a photo of that sign later for my gallery of railway signs, which I decided that I would create as I travelled across the country, just a library of images of old railway station nameplates. I don't know whether it'll mean something in the future, but like a lot of the research and content collection that I do, I don't really know what it means until I start to get a volume of material, and then perhaps it'll start to come together in some ways. Yeah, look, if you you either love or hate licorice, really, don't you? Yeah, it's a very pretty town. From the subtropics this morning, with a bit of a storm building over Coffs and over the hills at Bellingen, down here to Junee, and we're really not far from Tumut and the Snowy Mountains. So, you know, the trees, the landscape, everything has a very different feel. The drive did get interesting towards the end. The route that Google Maps took me from Gundagai, because I went down to Gundagai and did a drone flight and a bit of footage around the old Gundagai trestles. But I feel like publicly thanking Google Maps for giving me some really interesting tours through places that I wouldn't have otherwise had, as it tries to save me time by going around towns or bypassing the main drags. Like going up to Queensland, I had a super interesting bypass around Toowoomba, very suburban. And the drive this afternoon on the way here took me to some interesting back roads, the old Hume Highway, and I actually found myself on a really low bridge, almost a ford, crossing the Murrumbidgee River. And you know, for a boy from South Australia to see the Murrumbidgee at a location where it's actually flowing really, really hard was really interesting. Look, if I have time, I'll go to the chocolate factory. But you know, this isn't a chocolate factory channel, hey. So I kind of have to do my best to stay focused. Otherwise, I just run out of time, left, right, and centre. Yeah, that's interesting, Brian. I didn't visit Gundagai Station again because I kind of have to stay focused on the things that were in my plans. And that's been fun, just to try and fit all that in the time allotted, so to speak. So I'm just crossing the tracks now. Yes, everything's good. although you bloody know about it with that bloody bell. That's going to be interesting overnight as the trains go through. Flip the camera around again. That's cool that there'd be a nameplate left at Ballina. Like, that railway line closed in like 1928. So, yeah. I think we did a bloody good job just tracking down what we did. Replacing the stolen sleepers. That's really interesting. The reason I wanted to go to Gundagai was because it's kind of on the way to Junee, as they say in French. Yeah, I didn't have time to do a full video. But Kane from Kane's Trains mentioned that there's talk of these being cut down pretty soon. The Gundagai trestles being cut down pretty soon, so I wanted to capture them before they disappeared. Interesting artwork there showing one of the steam trains at the station just behind me here. And this is the view that I'm going to close the stream out on. You can see what must be an old signal cabin there, just the other side of the railway crossing. The Wait a While nameplate was in Narrandera. Interesting. All right. G'day, Richard. We're in Junee in southern New South Wales, and that over there is the Junee Hotel. Lucky I've got a door code, hey, because yeah, it looks pretty closed. Didn't take them long. They were open when I left, and now they're well and truly closed. No. Looks like we might have to go a bit longer. I think there might be another train coming. The road bridge trestle is very much long gone, with a road bridge trestle memorial, but the rail trestle and the bridge over the Murrumbidgee River is still there. I don't know off the top of my head, so I don't obviously have my computer in front of me right now what that is, but yeah. Well, for a minute there, I thought I saw a train headlight up ahead there, but no, I think that might have just been a truck or something. At any rate, it looks like trains go through here pretty bloody often, though. And there is one parked right there. Who's this bloke? They've even got a statue to Ray Warren. Ray Warren, there you go, Mr. NRL. All right, folks, well, I'm going to call it now because I've got another big day tomorrow. And I'm getting the data warning again, believe it or not. So, yeah, this could just, get more and more expensive the more we go. So, yeah, Thanks for joining me, everybody. Despite the interesting nature of live streams, it's been great to have you guys on board, both me and the statue of Ray Warren. Thank you for coming on board to this random live stream here in Junee. Perhaps we might do a live stream from Hay tomorrow. Maybe you'll get to meet JK, hey? If he comes down and meets me there, I should be there around 4:30. And then I'll be back in the studio next week with heaps of previews and heaps of videos to show you all. So until next week, folks, or maybe until tomorrow, if you're there for the random live streams. Noel, to answer your question from before too, the on-location live streams are generally impromptu, so there's no expectation to have everybody here, there, I should say. It's just kind of meant for the replayers and for anybody who does happen to be there to join in. So thanks for joining the regular Wednesday night live stream. I do this every Wednesday night at 8:15 p.m, sometimes out in the field, sometimes in the studio, and I look forward to seeing you then. Cheers, folks.